My beloved, my dearest child of light, do you feel it? That strange stirring in your heart right now? That slight trembling in your hands? The way your breath caught for just a moment when you read the first few words? That is not by accident. That is heaven reaching into your moment, pulling you into this divine space. Because there is something I must tell you, something I have been holding back, not because I wanted to, but because God's timing had not yet arrived. I, Archangel Michael, have stood beside you in battles you never saw. In nights where shadows leaned over your bed, whispering lies into your ears. I have watched people smile at you in the daylight and betray you in the dark. And I stayed silent because heaven had not yet opened the seal. But now the seal has broken. The truth is here. And my child, it will shake you. Please hear me. And please, I beg you, do not look away. Do not skip. Do not tell yourself, I'll finish later because this message is living. And if you turn from it, the light in it will dissolve and you will miss what heaven carved out just for you in this moment. Before I go deeper, I want to tell you something very important. If your heart is hearing me right now, if your soul is pulling you closer to these words, it is because you are meant to walk in the rarest blessings heaven has kept hidden for you. Stay with me until the end and you will know exactly what God meant for you to hear tonight. And if you have not yet joined my circle where I speak to you daily, where heaven's urgent whispers reach you before they vanish, then do so now. This is how you will never again miss the messages that could alter the course of your life. My beloved, I must tell you, the person you trusted most, the one you thought would never hurt you, has done something behind your back that heaven cannot ignore. You may have felt strange changes in their tone. You may have caught small glimpses in their eyes, but you brushed it away. You said to yourself, no, they could never. Yet, the truth has been forming in the unseen. And today, heaven has commanded me to reveal it. This is not gossip. This is not human suspicion. This is divine exposure. God has seen every hidden conversation, every secret deal, every smile that was a mask. And beloved, it was not your enemy who first thought to harm you. It was someone within your trust. They carried your name into the hands of someone who meant you harm, and they thought you would never find out. But you will not just find out. You will watch God turn the tables. You will see the same lips that spoke your name in betrayal stammer in confusion when heaven begins to move. And beloved, heaven is about to move fast. I must warn you, the next few days will not feel ordinary. You may receive unexpected calls, messages, or even see faces you haven't seen in a long time. Do not dismiss them. Each one will carry a clue. Each moment will be a thread pulling you closer to the truth I am speaking now. But I also must tell you, if you walk away from this moment, you will walk away from the signs. Because the enemy would love nothing more than to make you believe this is just another message. It is not. This is a divine alarm, an open scroll in the heavens with your name on it. And there is more, much more. Then listen closely, my child, for what I am about to pour into your spirit is not just a story, not just a warning. It is a living stream from the mouth of God Himself, carried through my hands and placed directly into yours. Every word you are reading right now is vibrating in the spiritual realm. Angels are leaning in. The enemy is trembling because light is about to shatter something they have built in the dark for months, perhaps even years. I waited because heaven's clock had not yet struck the appointed time. You see, there are moments in life where the truth cannot be revealed too early because if it comes before the soil is ready, the seed will be stolen. But now the soil is ready. Now, my beloved, your heart has been prepared to not only receive the truth, but to stand on it, walk on it, and rise above it. And when your heart is ready to rise, faith becomes more than something you feel. It becomes the next clear step you are willing to take. My child, I see the struggle you have been facing, the stress about finances, the silent worries that stay in your heart, and the moments where you feel uncertain about what comes next. You have been asking for peace, and that answer is already on its way. You are not meant to stay stuck in fear, you are meant to walk forward with purpose, with faith, and with clear steps every day. That is why a simple system has been placed in front of you, a 30-day faith and financial breakthrough system, a path where each day brings you a focused prayer, a small financial action, and clear direction to help you move ahead. No pressure, no confusion, just steady progress toward peace and stability. If something inside you feels ready, if you are ready to change your situation, take that first step today. This could be the moment your life begins to change. You will find the link in the description, and in the pinned comments below. Now stay with me, because the truth you have been prepared to receive goes even deeper. I must tell you, the one who betrayed you did not stumble into this by accident. They were persuaded. Their mind was slowly poisoned. A voice, not God's, whispered to them in moments of weakness. They were convinced that giving away a part of your life, your story, your blessing would somehow elevate them. But they did not see that in selling you out. They were placing themselves under a spiritual judgment they cannot escape. And you, my beloved, you are the one God will vindicate in front of every eye that has watched this play out. Already the first winds of exposure are moving. Have you noticed the sudden strange energy around certain people? The way conversations seem to end when you enter the room. The way your spirit feels heavy after speaking to certain voices. This is not paranoia. This is discernment. Heaven is lifting the veil. But here is where you must be wise and still. The moment you try to fight this battle in your own strength, you will lose the covering of heaven's strategy. That is why I was sent to you now in this exact hour. You are being told the truth not to stir your rage, but to strengthen your faith. God does not need you to chase this down. He needs you to watch what He does with it. In the coming days, you may be tempted to confront. You may want to demand answers, but beloved, the confrontation will not be with you. The confrontation will be from the throne. And when heaven confronts, no one can lie. No one can hide. No one can pretend. Do you feel the air changing even as you read this? That is the confirmation you have been waiting for. The Spirit of the Lord is near, standing behind you, whispering into your ear, I am here. I see. I will act. And yet there is a choice. You can lean in, stay under this covering, follow every sign I will give you, or you can walk away, shrug this off as mere words, and watch the moment pass you by. Beloved, don't make that mistake. This message found you for a reason. Then hear me, my beloved. From the first breath you took on this earth, heaven assigned a guard to your life. That guard was me. I have walked before you, beside you, and behind you, clearing paths you didn't know were blocked, and shielding you from arrows you never saw coming. But in all my years of watching over you, I have never felt such a pressing urgency as I do now. The weight of this truth has been on my wings for days, heavy and burning, and heaven has finally commanded that I release it to you without delay. The one who stands closest to you in the natural realm has stood far from you in the spiritual realm. They have eaten at your table, heard your laughter, shared in moments where your guard was down. And all the while they carried seeds in their pocket, seeds not of love, but of betrayal. They watered those seeds in conversations you were not a part of. They smiled in your face yet sold pieces of your story to hands that do not care for your soul. But my child, listen carefully. This is not the end of your story. It is the unveiling of a new chapter. God has been silent, not because he was absent, but because he was letting their cup fill. Every word they spoke, every step they took away from your trust was recorded in the courts of heaven. And now the gavel is about to fall. You may feel anger rise in you as I speak. You may feel the sting of realization, the ache of having been blindsided, but I tell you this with authority. Do not let bitterness plant itself in your heart. Do not allow this revelation to become poison to your spirit. You are not being shown this so you can retaliate. You are being shown this so you can witness the justice of God. Soon, very soon, the truth will not just be whispered to your heart. It will be spoken out loud where others can hear it. The mask will fall from their face without you having to touch it. And in that moment, every doubt you had, every uneasy feeling you brushed aside will suddenly align like pieces of a puzzle. And you will stand there, my beloved, not as the wounded victim, but as the one who overcame. You will walk through the fire of betrayal without the smell of smoke upon you. For I have gone ahead into the flame and quenched its heat. But understand this, the enemy will try one last time to distract you before the exposure comes. You may find yourself suddenly busy, pulled into meaningless conversations, tempted to let your spirit drift. That is why I must keep speaking until the final moment arrives. You need to hear me like a heartbeat, constant and unbroken, until your faith is so fixed that nothing can move you. Even now I am standing in the unseen sword drawn cutting away the last threads they tried to wrap around your destiny. I see them clearly and I will not stop until their plan collapses under the weight of heaven's will. Beloved, this is your moment to stay awake. This is your moment to refuse fear. And this is your moment to let God show you that no betrayal can bury the blessing He has spoken over your life. Then let me go deeper, my child, for there are things I have seen that your eyes have not yet beheld. And there are conversations I have heard that your ears have not yet caught. You walk in the visible world, but I see you in both realms, the earthly and the heavenly. And I have watched the weaving of plans against you like a spider's web spun in darkness. These webs are not fragile threads. They were built with intention meant to entangle not just your present but your future. Yet even the strongest web collapses under the fire of God's truth. And that fire is already burning. I must tell you, this betrayal was not birthed overnight. Seeds of it were planted long ago, perhaps when you were too busy tending to your own storms to notice who was walking beside you. They watched you rise after every setback. They watched blessings find you even in seasons of drought. And somewhere inside them a bitter thought began to grow. Why them and not me? That jealousy became an open door and through it the enemy stepped in, whispering lies, feeding suspicion, urging them to act. They believed no one would ever know. They believed their charm, their closeness would be enough to cover the scent of deceit. But heaven never sleeps. God's eyes never close. And now, my beloved, I am here not to give you half-truths, but to unveil the fullness of what has been hidden. You will soon notice strange shifts around you. Those who used to freely speak to you may suddenly grow cautious. Invitations may come less often or too often in suspicious ways. People may accidentally let slip small pieces of information thinking they are harmless. Pay attention. These are the cracks in the wall where light is breaking in. I know your heart aches even as you read this. The human part of you wants to cling to the belief that they never meant harm. And yet the spiritual part of you knows I am speaking the truth. That is why your chest feels heavier, why the hairs on your arms are rising. Your soul recognizes the voice of the one who has guarded you since the beginning. But I want you to also hear this clearly. While betrayal has been working behind your back, blessing has been building ahead of you. The same God who allowed the exposure of the Judas in your midst is also preparing a table for you in the presence of your enemies. When this table is set, it will not be hidden. Those who plotted against you will see it and they will know they could not undo what heaven had decreed over your life. This is why I say, my beloved, you must not shrink back now. Do not let fear push you into hiding. Stand still. Keep your spirit calm. For the moment you see the first full reveal of their actions, you will also see the first full wave of your vindication. And when it comes, it will be sudden, like the breaking of dawn after a long night. Even as I speak, angels are positioning themselves around you, creating a hedge no human can cross. The enemy will try to use guilt, confusion, or even false apologies to slip back into your trust. But you will feel my hand at your shoulder, steering you away. And soon, very soon, you will understand why God waited until now to open this scroll to you. The timing is perfect. The moment is ripe and heaven's justice once started will not stop until it is complete. Then listen, my beloved. The Spirit would not have pulled you into this moment if it were not a turning point in your story. You may think you've seen storms before, but this is different. This is not a season meant to break you. It is a season meant to crown you. But to place that crown upon your head, heaven must remove those who have stood too close to the throne that was meant for you alone. And removal is never gentle. It shakes the ground. It reveals faces you never thought you'd see in the shadows. I have been silent for too long, carrying the weight of what I have seen, because heaven's command was to wait. And so I waited, even when I saw them smiling at you with lips that had just spoken against you. Even when I watched them touch what belonged to you with hands that had already signed it away. But now the hour has come where my sword will not stay in its sheath and my voice will not stay quiet. This betrayal was not born from a single moment of weakness. It was crafted. It was rehearsed. They aligned themselves with others who share the same envy, the same hunger for what they did not earn. Together they spun stories, altered truths, and wrapped them in just enough charm to keep you blind. And yet they forgot that heaven listens behind closed doors. Even now, my beloved, certain things are shifting in their lives. Disruptions they cannot explain. Sudden setbacks they did not plan for. These are not coincidences. These are the first tremors of heaven's justice. When you see these tremors, you will know the shaking has begun. And once it begins, no hand can stop it. You may feel the temptation to warn them, to reach out, to say, I know. But I tell you, stay silent. Silence will be your shield in this hour. Let them think you are unaware because while they are distracted with their false sense of safety, heaven will dismantle their work piece by piece. And as this happens, you will begin to notice a clearing. Opportunities appearing in places that were once blocked. Blessings arriving faster than you expected, doors opening without you knocking. This is not random. These are the gifts being released now that the hands which tried to hold them back are being removed. My child, this is why you must stay close to my voice in the coming days. Do not wander into unnecessary conversations. Do not share your plans widely. Protect the vision God has given you, for it is precious and it is targeted. There is a reason the enemy worked through someone close to you, because they could not reach you any other way. But what the enemy forgot is this: I have been standing guard since your first cry in this world, and I will not leave you now. The same wings that have shielded you in danger are spread over you at this very moment. And my sword is drawn not just to defend, but to cut away every chain. Mark these words. The same people who are speaking against you now will one day have to speak for you. The same lips that carried lies will be forced to confess the truth. And the same hands that tried to steal from you will return empty, unable to touch what God has placed under His seal. You are about to see this unfold, my beloved. The hour is near, and I will not let you miss a single sign. You need to know the fullness of what has been taking place behind the veil. For only then will you understand the magnitude of what God is about to do for you. The betrayal against you is never just about you. It was an attempt to strike at the promise God placed over your life before you were even born. You see, there is a mark on you. Not a mark that men can see, but one that is recognized in the spiritual realm. Angels know it. Demons fear it. It is the seal of someone chosen for impact, someone destined to disrupt darkness wherever they go. That mark has drawn blessings to you, but it has also drawn attacks. And the most dangerous attacks are not those that come from the outside, but those that rise from within your own circle. This is why I grieved in silence while watching the one you trusted most step into the role of a messenger for the enemy. It was not sudden. No, it began with small compromises, moments where they chose their own gain over your good. Then it grew. And like a seed planted in secret soil, their actions took root until a harvest of betrayal was inevitable. But here is what they did not realize. God allowed them to plant those seeds, not so they could prosper, but so their actions could be brought into the light for all to see. Just as Joseph's brothers thought selling him into slavery would end his dream, these ones believe they could take from you and watch your vision wither. Instead, they have positioned you exactly where God can elevate you beyond their reach. And as you step into that elevation, this is also a moment to bring faith, clarity, and steady action into the areas of your life that have carried the most weight. My child, I see the weight you have been carrying. The quiet worries about money, the stress you rarely speak about, the nights when your mind refuses to rest. You have been praying for peace, and your prayers have been heard. You are not meant to walk this journey in confusion and fear. You are meant to walk with faith, with clarity, and with daily direction. That is why a simple path has been placed before you, a 30-day faith and financial breakthrough system. Each day you will be guided with a gentle prayer, a simple money step, and clear direction to help you regain control. Nothing overwhelming, nothing complicated. Just small faithful steps leading you toward peace and stability. If your heart feels ready, begin today. Do not delay this moment. The link is in the description and in the pinned comments below. Now stay close, because what comes next will show you how that elevation is already beginning to unfold. Already preparations are underway in the unseen. I see meetings being cancelled that were meant to harm you. I see financial arrangements falling apart for those who conspired against you. I see confusion setting into their camp. Plans they thought were perfect beginning to crumble under the pressure of heaven's hand. And you, beloved, are being hidden in the cleft of the rock until the storm passes. Do not mistake this hiddenness for abandonment. It is protection. You may feel quieter than usual. Some connections may have fallen silent, but this is because God is removing unnecessary voices from your ears so you can hear His voice and mine without interference. In the days to come, you will receive small but unmistakable confirmations. A phrase will be spoken by someone who does not know the full story, yet it will match something I've told you in your spirit. A document will come into your hands unexpectedly. A door you thought was locked will suddenly swing open, revealing an opportunity you did not even know existed. Each of these will be signs that the process is unfolding exactly as heaven intended. And when the moment of unveiling arrives, it will not be gradual. It will be swift like a curtain ripped away from a stage. The truth will be revealed in an instant. The betrayer will not be able to hide behind charm or excuses. Their own words, their own actions will testify against them. On that day, you will not have to speak. Your silence will speak for you. Your peace will be the loudest response. For God Himself will be your defender. And I will be standing beside you, my sword still drawn, my wings spread wide, ensuring that not even a shadow of harm touches you. And after the unveiling comes the restoration. What was taken will return not in the same form but multiplied. What was delayed will be delivered and it will come faster than you expect. And the very people who doubted you will watch as the promise over your life is fulfilled in greater measure than they ever imagined. This is not just survival. Beloved, this is vindication. This is elevation. This is the moment heaven has been waiting for, and you are standing at its threshold. Then let your heart be still, my beloved, and let my words continue to wrap around you like the wings that have shielded you in every unseen battle. For you must understand, the story of your life is not simply unfolding in the pages you can see. It is being written in the courts of heaven where every moment is weighed, every action recorded, every intention revealed before the eyes of the one who cannot be deceived. The one who betrayed you believed they were clever enough to hide their steps in the shadows, but shadows are only the absence of light. And I, Michael, carry the very light of God's presence in my sword. When my blade is drawn, no darkness can survive. And beloved, my blade is already unsheathed. The line has been drawn. What was tolerated in the past will not be tolerated now. I have stood over your life like a watchman on the highest wall. I have seen the enemy circle again and again, searching for a weak place to enter. And when they could not break your spirit through trials, when they could not crush you with open opposition, they turned to something far more dangerous. They sought out someone who had your trust. Someone who could walk freely past your walls without raising suspicion. That is how they gained access. And that is why this betrayal cuts so deeply. But hear me, the depth of the wound will determine the height of your victory. The greater the attack, the greater the restoration. This is the law of the kingdom. And your restoration will not be quiet, my beloved. It will not be hidden in some private corner. It will be as public as the betrayal. Those who plotted in whispers will watch in silence as God honors you in the open. Even now, I am watching the scales tip in your favor. I see opportunities forming that were previously blocked because of the influence this person had over your path. I see divine connections preparing to enter your life. People whose loyalty is pure, whose intentions are clean before God. I see doors being marked for you. Doors that no human hand will be able to close once heaven swings them open. And yet there is a warning you must hold tightly. Do not allow bitterness to set its roots in your heart. For bitterness will disguise itself as strength, but it will poison the soil of your destiny. The enemy would love for you to carry resentment into the next season so that it chokes the blessings before they bloom. That is why I urge you, release the offense into God's hands. Release the desire for revenge. Let heaven handle what heaven has already begun. In the days ahead, the betrayer may try to rewrite the story. They may speak to others before the truth is fully revealed, twisting details, painting themselves as the victim. Do not panic when you hear this. Lies always rise to the surface before the truth crushes them. When their words spread, do nothing. Let the tide of God's justice roll in on its own. It will be stronger than anything you could orchestrate. And when the wave of justice comes, it will not just sweep away their lies, it will sweep away the residue of pain from your heart. You will find yourself lighter, freer, stronger than you have been in years. This is not merely about exposing them. It is about liberating you. You have carried the weight of their deception unknowingly. And when it lifts, you will walk differently. You will see differently. You will trust differently. Not with suspicion but with wisdom. My beloved, this is the turning point. Not just in this situation, but in your entire spiritual journey. The exposure that is coming will set off a chain reaction of blessings, favor, and positioning that will place you exactly where God has always intended for you to be. You may not yet see the full map, but I promise you the path ahead is far more glorious than the road you are leaving behind. You are standing in a moment where heaven has leaned close. Where the veil between the seen and the unseen is thinner than it has been in years. And every word I speak to you now carries the weight of divine timing. This betrayal, as sharp and sudden as it feels, was not outside of God's sight. In fact, heaven allowed it for a reason far greater than you may yet comprehend. Sometimes the only way to remove what is secretly rotting is to let it rise to the surface. That is what is happening now. The decay that has been hidden is coming into the open. And though it stings to see it, it is the first step in the cleansing that will set you free. The one who wronged you thought they could control the outcome. They thought they could decide how your story would be told, what blessings you would receive, and what doors would remain shut to you. But they forgot you are not held by their permission. You are held by God's promise, and no human hand can lock what heaven has already decreed to open. I have walked behind them unseen while they carried out their plans. I have stood at their shoulder when they whispered your name to those who did not deserve to hear it. I have heard the laughter they shared at your expense, the false humility they wore in public, and the pride they carried in secret. And I tell you, beloved, God has heard it all, too. He is not distant. He is not passive. The very ground beneath their feet is shifting even now. What they thought would harm you will instead become the stage for your elevation. When the truth is revealed, it will be undeniable. No excuses will stand. No carefully constructed lie will survive the light. And in that moment, you will not even have to defend yourself. For the evidence will speak so loudly, no voice will be able to drown it out. But I must prepare you for this truth. Before the unveiling, there will be a silence. Do not mistake that silence for an action. It will seem for a short while as though nothing is happening. You may feel the urge to push, to act, to force the reveal. But this silence is sacred. It is the moment when God finishes arranging every detail so that when the curtain falls, the entire picture is visible at once. During this time, you must remain rooted. Guard your tongue. Protect your spirit from distraction. The enemy will try to bait you into small conflicts to drain your energy, but you must refuse. Save your strength for the moment that matters. And here is what I promise you as the one who has been your guardian since the beginning. When the truth breaks forth, it will come with a wave of restoration so strong it will overtake the years you thought were lost. It will not simply return what was taken. It will multiply it. Doors that were locked will swing open together. Opportunities will converge and you will see how every loss was positioning you for greater gain. My beloved, you are stepping into the fulfillment of a promise made long before this betrayal ever took shape. This is why I tell you, do not let your heart grow weary. You are closer to your vindication than you realize, and I will not leave your side until it is complete. This is the great divide in your story. What comes after this will not resemble what came before. And though betrayal is the doorway you are standing in, glory is the land you are about to enter, I want you to understand the nature of the battle that has been waged against you. This was not a random act nor a coincidence of circumstance. The enemy studied you. They knew your rhythms, your patterns, the places you were most open, and they chose to strike through someone who had your full trust. Why? Because that trust was the key that could open places in your life no outsider could reach. They used that key. They crossed thresholds you never thought you would have to guard. And for a while they believed they had succeeded. But even while their plans seemed to prosper, I was there. I stood in the unseen, marking every step they took, sealing every boundary they thought they had crossed without consequence. I have been patient, not because I lacked the power to stop them, but because the timing of heaven is perfect. Exposure too soon would have only stirred suspicion and denial. But now the hour has struck and the tables are ready to turn. Soon you will see the first fractures appear in their fortress. Their alliances will weaken. Their confidence will falter. The same voices that encouraged them will begin to fall silent one by one. And when they realize the walls are closing in, they will try to retreat into your mercy. Be ready, my beloved, for when that moment comes, you must remember mercy does not mean returning to chains. This season will also test your discernment. Not every apology is sincere and not every tear is born from repentance. Some are born from fear of being found out. You must listen beyond their words and you will feel my voice within you guiding you to know when to receive and when to release. I must also prepare you for this truth. The blessing that will follow this unveiling will be greater than anything you have seen before. But it will require space. Space that cannot be shared with those who worked against you. This is why the removal is necessary. God will not pour a fresh anointing into a vessel still tied to unfaithful hands. Already the path ahead is being cleared. I see divine opportunities aligning, not just for restoration, but for expansion. Where you once struggled to make progress, you will move freely. Where doors were locked, there will be multiple entrances. Where resources felt scarce, provision will flow with ease. This shift is not months away. It is near, closer than your natural senses can measure. And when it comes, it will carry such undeniable favor that even those who doubted you will have no choice but to acknowledge that the hand of God has been upon you all along. This, my beloved, is why I speak to you now with such urgency because the enemy knows the timing too. They know they are running out of space to act and they will try to stir last-minute confusion. Do not give them the satisfaction of a reaction. Stay anchored. Keep your spirit quiet before the Lord. Let them wonder what you know. And when the reveal comes, they will understand you were never unprotected, never unguarded, never alone. I will stay with you through this. I will not rest until you step fully into the place heaven has prepared for you. Then let me continue, my beloved, because I know your spirit is leaning in now. Your heart is searching these words for the shape of your own story. And heaven will not let you leave this moment without the clarity and strength you need. What I am giving you is not just information. It is a shield, a lantern, and a key. A shield to protect you in the final hours of this hidden battle. A lantern to light the path so you do not stumble in confusion. And a key to open the next season when the door swings wide. The one who wronged you underestimated one thing. The God who chose you. They thought they could control the narrative. Decide who believed what and hide the truth behind carefully crafted appearances. But God is the author of your story and no one can edit his pen. Every lie they have told has already been scheduled for exposure. Every hidden act has a time and place set for unveiling. It will not be delayed. It will not be stopped. There is something I must tell you plainly. The betrayal against you was not just personal. It was strategic. It was meant to weaken your influence, to scatter the trust others have in you, to make you doubt yourself so deeply that you would hesitate when God called you forward. But the very attempt to undermine you has only made your foundation stronger. Because while they schemed, you endured. While they plotted, you prayed. While they thought they were breaking you, they were only shaping you into someone they could no longer touch. Do you feel the shift even as you read this? That is not your imagination. The spiritual atmosphere around you is changing because my words are not mine alone. They are infused with the authority of heaven. Angels are already moving into position. There are places you will soon walk where your feet will feel lighter. Not because the path has changed, but because the weight you have carried unknowingly will be gone. And when that moment comes, the moment the curtain falls on their deception, you will not stand there trembling. You will stand tall. You will feel my presence behind you, the presence of heaven before you. And you will know that the God who saw every tear, every doubt, every long night was faithful to the end. But I must caution you, in the hours before the exposure, they will grow restless. Watch their movements. Listen to the tone of their words. Those who once spoke with certainty will begin to over-explain. Those who once seemed bold will begin to test your reactions. They will sense something shifting even if they cannot name it. Do not let them pull you into arguments or confessions before the appointed time. Remember, beloved, silence is not weakness, it is strategy. Every moment you remain still, heaven moves faster on your behalf. And when it is time, you will not have to speak. The truth will speak for itself. After the unveiling, there will be a flood of change. Relationships will rearrange. Old doors will close with a finality you cannot reopen. And new ones will appear with such clarity you will not question them. This will not be a slow drip of blessing. It will be a wave, and it will lift you higher than where you stood before the betrayal began. This is why I have been sent to you now. Not to simply tell you what happened, but to prepare you for what comes next. Because the next chapter is not about surviving. It is about reigning. And for that, you must step forward unburdened, unshaken, and utterly convinced of who you are in God's eyes. Then listen closely, my beloved, for the scroll of your life is still being unrolled in the heavens. And the page we are on now will be remembered as the one where everything turned. This is the part where the enemy believed they had the final move. And yet, this is the moment God has been waiting for to reveal his own hand. There are truths I have guarded for longer than you realize. Times when I wanted to whisper to you, watch that one closely, but was told by the Almighty to hold my tongue until the time was ripe. That time has come. The ripening has happened. The fruit both of their deceit and of your faithfulness is about to be harvested. And while one will wither in shame, the other will shine in glory. Do not think for a moment that your tears in past seasons were wasted. Not one of them fell without being counted. Not one sigh of exhaustion was unheard. While you pressed forward, trying to hold yourself together, there were nights when angels were stationed around your bed, not only to guard your rest, but to absorb the weight you could not carry. I was there. I saw you wake up with heaviness and still choose to move forward. That choice, those unseen acts of perseverance have become part of the reason heaven has released this moment of vindication. The one who betrayed you has been bold in secret. They have moved in the confidence of someone who believes they are unseen. They have shared words about you in private that they would never dare say to your face. And yet every syllable has been recorded. There are witnesses not of flesh and blood who have documented every act, every agreement, every manipulation. The time is coming when they will try to justify themselves. They will speak in circles. They will shift the blame. And yet, my beloved, there will be no place left for their excuses to land. The truth will surround them like water rising, and they will have no ground left to stand on. But here is where you must anchor your heart. You are not being given this revelation so you can prepare for revenge. You are being given it so you can prepare for elevation. God is not simply removing what is against you. He is making space for what is for you. Space for new alliances, new opportunities, new blessings that could not flow while the old roots of betrayal still wrapped around your foundation. Even now, I see doors that were closed to you because of this person's influence beginning to tremble. They will open suddenly. And when they do, you will realize how much was being held back from you. Resources, relationships, favor, all will flow once the obstruction is removed. And when it comes, it will not be a trickle. It will be a flood so swift that you will hardly remember the years of waiting. My beloved, this is why your spirit feels both heavy and expectant. Right now, you are standing at the edge of the breaking. And the breaking is not for your harm. It is the breaking of the chains that have kept you in the same place for too long. When the curtain falls on this chapter, you will walk forward lighter, faster, freer, and those who thought they had written you out of the script will find themselves watching you take center stage in the next act God has written for you. And I promise you this. I will not step back until the last shadow has been driven from your path. I will stand as I always have. Sword drawn, wings outstretched, eyes fixed on the promise that cannot be stolen from you. Beloved, we are not finished yet. Then let us go to the very depths. My beloved, for what is about to be spoken will seal this moment in your spirit forever. This is the turning of the tide, the hour when heaven's hand presses down upon the scales and every injustice tips back in your favor. You have felt this shift approaching for weeks, maybe months, an invisible stirring in the air as if the atmosphere itself was holding its breath. That is because the stage has been set. Every piece is in place. The curtain is about to fall on the darkness that has been hiding. And the light will pour in so suddenly it will blind those who have dwelt too long in their own deception. I have walked the perimeter of your life and found every breach. I have marked every entry point the enemy tried to use. I have watched the betrayers step lightly, convinced that their footprints would fade before anyone noticed. But they forgot one thing. The sand they walked on belongs to God. And the wind of His Spirit does not erase. It reveals. Every step they have taken is preserved. And it will lead straight back to them when the time comes. The moment of exposure will not creep in like a whisper. It will arrive like the sudden clap of thunder after a flash of lightning. One moment they will stand in the illusion of safety. The next they will be face to face with the consequences they thought would never find them. And in that moment you will feel no fear, no need to defend yourself. For the truth will not require your effort. It will stand on its own. But beloved, what follows the exposure is what I want you to prepare for most. Because this is where the enemy often makes their last desperate attempt. They will come to you with words dipped in regret, with voices that tremble, with stories meant to make you doubt what you know. They will try to weave confusion back into your mind to make you believe you have misunderstood, that you have been too harsh. That reconciliation must mean returning to the way things were. And this, my beloved, is the snare you must avoid. Forgiveness is holy, but returning to the same chains is not. This unveiling will also come with a sudden shift in your surroundings. Some people will step closer, finally free to speak what they saw and knew but were afraid to share. Others will vanish without explanation. Their loyalty having been to the one who opposed you. Let them go. Their absence is not a loss. It is the clearing of the field for the harvest that is coming. And then the blessing, not just one blessing, but a sequence, each one larger than the last. What was taken from you will be returned multiplied. Doors you did not even know existed will be opened to you. You will see opportunities gather around you like waves rolling in without end. And each blessing will carry the mark of heaven so clearly that you will know it is not the work of man but the reward of the one who saw every secret and chose to honor your faithfulness. This next season will move quickly. You will have to step boldly, making decisions with confidence, for the window will not stay open forever. The blessings will be abundant, but they are also purposeful. They are meant to carry you into the fullness of your calling, into places you could not reach while you were still entangled with betrayal. My beloved, I tell you this so you will not hesitate. When the reveal comes, step forward. When the blessings arrive, receive them without apology. When new alliances form, trust the discernment I will place in your spirit. And above all, keep your eyes on the one who has authored this moment from the very beginning. I will be with you until the last shadow has left your path. I will stand watch until every word God has spoken over your life is fulfilled. And when you step into that final moment of triumph, you will know, not just in your mind, but in the deepest part of your soul, that no betrayal can undo what heaven has sealed. This, my beloved, is your hour. And I will not let you miss it. So carry these words with you. Walk forward in peace, stay close to the light, and remember that every message shared here continues because hearts like yours choose to keep this mission alive. We run entirely on viewer support. If you'd like to help keep this mission and these messages reaching more hearts, you can support us with a coffee through the link in the description. God bless you.